Hey guys, it's Nicole. So I kind of mentioned in a previous video about maybe talking about where movie critics even came from. I was talking about Joker 2 and how there was a movie critic, Paul Schrader, that said some really honestly mean things about the movie. Like, not even from an objective, oh, this is bad, this and this. Like, he was mean about the actors and their acting and everything. And I have not seen it yet, so I can't speak to how the movie is, in my opinion. But there were things that he said that I thought were mean. And in that video, I kind of said out loud, I was like, why are movie critics even a thing? Like, I kind of didn't know, like, why, like, where did they even come from? Why is this a thing? Why was it ever a thing? So this video is kind of about that. I decided to do a little bit of like searching, just a little bit. Like, I didn't go into a deep dive because I'm not going to make this like a super long like research video. It's literally just, this is what I found, and maybe you guys can tell me what you think about it. So the first thing that I found is from the New York Film Academy. Seems like a pretty good, site. This is, and I'll link the articles in the description. But this is the evolution of film criticism, which I was like, perfect. Like, where did it even come from? Why did it even start? But this actually kind of says that criticism is like its own art form, which I guess, but it says criticism has always helped other people form opinions of the work for themselves and make informed decisions of whether it's worth their time. I kind of like, maybe, sure, that's maybe why it started. It doesn't really feel that way anymore, because at this point now it's just like, nah, I didn't like it. Why? Give me why. Like, I hear quotes and I don't hear whys. But it says here that film criticism has actually been around since the beginning of movies, and way back into the early 1900s is when it says. And it actually says, and this kind of, I guess, makes sense, but it says that early reviewers used this as a way to break into other film-related jobs. So they'd go out and make critiques of movies and then use that as an in to get into other jobs in the film industry. Which feels so weird to me, but like, but this here makes it sound like they were saying positive things, because in this article here, it's like a history smackdown is what they call it. Because it says like, where did I read that? I just read it. It was like, yeah, so here we go. For years, film criticism was as much about the critic as the film. Critique was an art form and an opportunity for the critic to place a few beautiful turns of phrase and insightful comments in the context of a review. I just feel like maybe criticism isn't like that anymore. Like, maybe that's what it started out as, but it doesn't really feel like that anymore, because anytime I hear anything about critics' reviews, it's them being kind of snobby about, oh, it's not good enough. Like, it's not like, Taxi Driver or something like that. And I'm like, movies can be good literally without being iconic masterpieces. Like, or in their opinion, iconic masterpieces anyway. I'm not dissing Taxi Driver. I'm just saying that, like, it's like seeing any Christopher Nolan movie. It's like, it's not that it's bad. It's just that I get kind of tired of people shoving it down my throat like it's the best thing that since sliced bread. And it's good. Don't get me wrong. I saw Oppenheimer, enjoyed it, got a little bit bored for a little bit because it was a very long movie, but I definitely enjoyed most of it. But I just feel like everyone's so snobby about what's a good movie. So that's why I don't understand critics, and this paints it in a way that it's like, oh, it's useful, it's insightful, there's like, you can like create beautiful turns of phrase like to create this like review, and it's almost like an art form itself. But it doesn't feel like it's that way anymore. Like every time I hear about a critic's review of a movie, especially when it's a bad review, like you just hear them saying like the craziest out-of-pocket things that aren't even constructive. They're just mean. Like it feels like they said, it's supposed to be constructive. It's supposed to be insightful comments like that. So I don't know, but that's what this says. That's what this article says. It says that that's what critics were like, or maybe they're supposed to be like, I don't know. Movies like restaurants and hotels, this is what it says in the article, were rated with stars, and a 4 or 5 star rating was a sign of a worthwhile film. Is it wasting time though to go see a movie? Like how many people really found it to be a waste of their time to go see a movie? If you don't like it, you just walk out. I mean, why was it that big of a deal? Because my whole reason that I'm so confused about this is because it's all completely subjective and opinion. As long as the basic story foundation is there and the cinematography wasn't awful and the actors, you know, did their job, I don't see, I just don't see the point to be mean. I just feel so confused about this. Like I still, like here's the history of it, but I still don't understand why it's a thing today. Like maybe in the comments you guys can give your insight into why it's still a thing today, having movie critics. Because it's not just that we have movie critics, it's that we put so much on what they say. It's not just that they exist. We treat what they say like it's the law. And I don't get that. It's their opinion. It doesn't make sense to treat it as like, oh, okay, they hated it, I'm never going to go see that. It doesn't make sense to me. But it's an interesting article. It's pretty short. It even talks about how by the 1930s, like film transformed from vaudeville curiosity into more mainstream. So it's kind of interesting. So it's pretty short. I'm going to link it below in the description in case anyone's interested. But the other thing that I wanted to point out along with this is that I don't think it's just me that feels this way, because literally I went and I looked up, I'm sorry I used the word literally, I can't stop, it's so bad. But I wanted to Google, I was like, okay, give me examples of movies where critics hated it, but audiences loved it. Because it's like, this is literally my point. It's subjective. So I found a good list. I found this really cool article that's like it's a list. The 32 greatest movies that critics hated and audiences loved. I'm not going to read through every single movie. I'm just going to point out some of the ones that I've seen that I have loved as a good point. Because I know a lot of other people love these movies too. Man of Steel, you know, the Superman movie with Henry Cavill. Are you kidding me? I loved that movie. That was literally like, it's sure different than I'm sure the other Superman movies or TV shows were, but it was a good movie. Like objectively, I can't say objectively because it is subjective, but subjectively, I thought it was a really good movie. And another one is Sweet Home Alabama. I don't know if anyone has seen Sweet Home Alabama. It is a rom-com. But Reese Witherspoon, Patrick Dempsey, and what's his name? Josh something. I know his name because it's escaping me. But it's literally one of my favorite movies. And I say literally in that sense because it's true. I love watching Sweet Home Alabama. It's a good movie. Like, it's got everything. It's got comedy, it's got romance, it's got intrigue, it's got suspense. You're not sure what's going to happen. And it's really funny. Like, they're all really funny. So that one was a really good one, too. Where the Crawdads Sing. Oh, my God. Literally one of my favorite movies, too. And they did it so well. I even got the book. It's in my to-be-read pile, which is next to the other pile that's almost falling over of books I have read. But Where the Crawdads Sing, I absolutely loved. I thought it was such a good movie. I thought it was so well thought out and so well executed, you know, like you get the point of the movie, and it's a beautiful movie. Like it's a drama. But apparently critics hated it. And I thought it was one of the best movies of the year. It came out in 2022. You know, then there's The Gray Man. That was a Netflix movie that Ryan Gosling did. I thought that was really good. It's an action movie. I didn't see anything wrong with it. Uncharted, that movie that was based off that video game Uncharted, with Tom Holland and Mark Wahlberg. I thought that was a great movie. I went to see it in the theater because I'm a big Tom Holland fan. He's a really great actor. But it's so absolutely absurd to me that critics didn't like these movies, and then we treat it as like this is it. They hated it, so it's a bad movie. Black Adam is on this list. I thought it was fine. I mean, Black Adam wasn't like my favorite movie. I can't remember exactly what it was that made me not love it, but I liked it. So, but it looks here like the critics hated it. Rotten Tomatoes is one of the weirdest things I've ever heard. I mean, I get the name. It's so funny that that's something we even look at. Hook! Oh my God, Robin Williams and Hook. It got terrible critic reviews. And if you are going to tell me that Hook, the 1991 Hook with Robin Williams and Dustin Hoffman and Julia Roberts, isn't one of the best movies to be ever made, you are out of your mind. I'm sorry, you just are. It is one of the best movies. I watched it as a kid. I watch it as an adult. It is literally one of my favorite movies as well. And I keep saying literally, even though I said I was going to stop, but here we are. It's one of the best movies. They don't use like stupid CGI. Like it's mostly just like, you know, special effects like on a stage, you know, and like him flying, like that's not too crazy. Like all of it is so good. And then Maggie Smith playing Wendy, like the older version of Wendy. It's one of the best movies out there. Like it's quoted everywhere. Rufio. And critics hated it when it came out. This is my point. Why are we taking what they say so seriously? Why is this still a thing? I don't understand. Twilight. I mean, I've been a Twilight fan my whole life. I read the books. I saw the movies. I unironically watched Twilight. That is my personal choice. If you want to roast me for it, fine. But Twilight actually got really bad reviews from critics, and I know there's a lot of people out there that would agree, but at the same time, it got really good reviews from audience members too, so once again, I think it's subjective, guys. It's just incredible to me. There's all of these movies. Oh my God. National Treasure is on this list. Every single person knows that movie, and I have not met a single person who hates that movie. It is one of the best action American movies ever made. I think the second one is really good too. It's just good. Like it's a fun adventure action movie. And who doesn't love Nicolas Cage? I mean, come on. Like it's so good. I don't know anyone who doesn't like it. It's so absolutely absurd to me that we take what critics say seriously. And I say we as like the media, because I don't know that many people personally that actually listen to the critics' reviews, because most people I know are like, yeah, I don't care what the critics say. I liked that movie. Or I don't care what they say. It looks good. I'm going to go see it. But at the same time, the media takes it so seriously. Like we have them constantly reporting on it. That's how I saw that review from Paul Schrader on Joker 2, because it's like constantly reported on like it's this big thing, like we should all care about it. And I don't think we should. I don't think it matters. I really don't. I honestly do not see the point of film critics. I think that needs to not be a job anymore. I think that maybe instead, like just make your own things, give either constructive criticism or, like the article said, insightful comments. Because saying mean things like they're the kind of people that when they walk in the door, you sneak out the back is just mean and underhanded and just you trying to get attention. So I don't see the point of it. But I don't know. Maybe some of you will feel differently. Maybe some of you think that there was a point before. You just hold on to that or something. I don't know. I don't think a lot of people would agree that film critics are a good thing still. But who knows? Let me know what you guys think. I think this is an interesting conversation. When I was looking it up, I definitely saw a Reddit sub that talks about this. So I know other people are talking about it as well. It's not just me having these thoughts. Other people think this too. So let me know what you think. And I might make other videos like this, kind of talking about things like movie history, musical theater history, maybe things that I don't think make sense anymore, or where did they even come from? Maybe even pop culture things. It's like, oh, let's talk about this. Where did this come from? Because it's kind of fun. Doing a little bit of like basic research and then bringing it to you guys and seeing what you guys think. But anyway, that's it for this video. If you would like to make me happy today, go ahead and subscribe to my channel, like this video, comment. I'd love to know what you thought of this video and your thoughts of the whole topic itself. Notifications, you can get some notifications whenever I post a video. Again, we'll see, it's definitely weekly. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all next week.